This TNT comes to us from Jeremy over in Glasgow. Tony, I keep hearing about pre-tax accounts and after-tax accounts and why you need to have a game plan to know which accounts to take money from so I won't get hammered with taxes. Please explain the differences between the two types of accounts.
You know, one of the most confusing things out there is something called the tax law. And I think they made it so confusing on purpose, folks, because, again, these rules were written by the government. It wasn't meant to be easy, and unfortunately, it continues to be even more and more complicated. And in this example, with Jeremy's question, this idea of pre-tax and after-tax gets real out in the woods. And I'm going to try to make this real simple. Years ago, back in the day, I used to do a lot of workshop seminars. These were always free to the public. I mean, I did tons of them. And after COVID, quite frankly, we have discontinued those. But I remember using this one illustration in a live audience when somebody asked the difference between a pre-tax account, such as a pre-tax 401k, and an after-tax account, or otherwise known as, in many cases, a Roth IRA. And what I decided to use is use, of all things, parking garages. So I'm going to go through this, and we're just going to show this full screen and see if you follow this. All right, imagine you're driving into downtown Louisville, and you've got to be at a meeting, and you've never been in a big city before, and you know you got to park your car, and you're driving up and down the streets and can't find a parking spot, and all of a sudden you see this huge concrete building called a parking garage, and it says, park here. So you pull your car in, and there's a nice man standing there, there's a gate down, and he says, what do you need? And you say, I want to park. And you say, how much is it to park here? And he says, well, listen carefully, it depends on how long you stay. So you say, well, that's fair enough. So he hands you a ticket. You drive in, you stay the day, and you pull out, and then all of a sudden you get to a gate again to leave, and you can't leave, and there's another gentleman standing there and go, can I see your ticket? And you say, why do you need to see my ticket? And he responds, because I got to see how long you've been in here. He looks at the ticket, he charges you $20, and you say, well, how did you come up with that? And he basically says, hey, sir, the longer you stay here, the more you're going to have to pay. So that's what we would call a pre-tax account, a pre-tax parking garage. In other words, you pull in there, you don't pay anything up front. It feels like it's almost free. But then the longer you stay, the more you pay. And that's what happens with these 401ks and IRAs. The longer you postpone these taxes that are due, the more they're going to grow. That's why I call it a tax tumor. If left unattended, it's just going to grow out the wazoo. It's going to get bigger and bigger. So you might say, well, I don't like that parking garage. So the next time you drive back to Louisville, you bypass that garage, you keep driving, and all of a sudden you see a concrete building that says tax-free parking garage. You go, well, what's that all about? So you pull in the gate, there's a nice man standing there, and out of the blue, he immediately blurts, that'll be $20. And you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean $20? You don't even know how long I'm going to stay in here. And he says, sir, that doesn't matter. You can stay in here as long as you want, as long as I get the $20 up front. And you say, even 5 days, 10 days? Absolutely. You test him out, you stay 3 days, you pull out of the parking garage, nobody's there, you drive home scot-free, your only out-of-pocket was $20. That's an after-tax account. That's the beauty of a Roth IRA. You pay the taxes now, but you're done with them forever. And then there's one caveat here. In most cases, pre-tax IRAs are going to be fully taxed to your children when you die. In other words, the tax tumor does not go away. The beauty of the Roth IRA is when you die, 100% of it is tax-free to your heirs. So if you're trying to figure out whether pre-tax or after-tax is better, a lot of that depends on your tax brackets and many other factors that we can help you with at Tony Walker Financial. So before you make any moves one way or the other, why don't we just talk? There's no cost or obligation. We call it the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call. To set up your time to talk to me personally, log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, or you can simply call us at 877-499-9255.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.